Hey everyone, welcome back to Ocean Science Beauty. Today, we're diving into some interesting news. There's been talk about changing the names of two major bodies of water. President Donald Trump suggested renaming the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Gulf. And there's also been discussion about calling the Gulf of Mexico the American Gulf. This debate goes far beyond maps. It touches on identity, history, and geopolitics. So, should this body of water be called the Persian Gulf or the Arabian Gulf? And what about the Gulf of Mexico? Should it be called the American Gulf? Let's unpack the facts, the history, and the controversy. Stick around, because it's more than just a name. First, a quick geography refresher. A gulf in oceanography is a large, deep inlet of the sea that is partially enclosed by land, usually with a narrower opening to the ocean. Now, the Persian Gulf. It lies between Iran to the northeast and the Arabian Peninsula to the southwest. It connects to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea via the Strait of Hormuz. Over 8 countries border this stretch of water, including Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, and Oman. Historically, the name Persian Gulf goes back over 2,000 years. Ancient Greek geographers like Strabo and Ptolemy called it Sinus Persicus, or Persian Gulf. European maps from the Renaissance until the 20th century consistently used that name. Even the United Nations, UNESCO, and the UN Group of Experts on Geographical Names recognize Persian Gulf as the standard and historically accurate term. But things changed in the mid-20th century. The rise of Arab nationalism, especially under Egypt's Gamal Abdel Nasser in the 1950s and 60s, sparked a push for Arab unity. The name Arabian Gulf started gaining popularity in the Arab world, appearing in local media and textbooks as a way to assert political and cultural identity and challenge Iranian influence in the region. Internationally, most organizations and major media outlets, like National Geographic, CNN, and the BBC continue to use Persian Gulf. For Iranians, the name represents deep cultural pride, heritage, and historical continuity. For many Arabs, Arabian Gulf reflects modern political realities and a shared Arab identity. So, while it might seem like a simple geographical dispute, it's really about identity. Now, switching gears to the Gulf of Mexico. This gulf is a large ocean basin bordered by the southeastern United States, the eastern coast of Mexico, and a bit of Cuba. It's part of the Atlantic Ocean and plays a huge role in trade, oil production, and hurricane formation. Why is it called the Gulf of Mexico? The answer is straightforward: geography. Mexico borders the southern and western sides of the Gulf, and historically, Mexico's coastline wraps around most of it. When Spanish explorers mapped the region in the early 1500s, they named it Golfo de Mexico. Spain colonized much of what is now Mexico and parts of the American South, so their naming stuck. In a more recent twist, after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, comedian Stephen Colbert joked about renaming it the Gulf of America, saying, "I don't think we can call it the Gulf of Mexico anymore. We broke it. We bought it." Mississippi State Representative Steve Holland even introduced a satirical bill proposing this name change, using it to highlight immigration issues. Now, why do some people call it the American Gulf? Partly because the U.S. controls a large share of the Gulf's oil platforms, has a massive naval presence, and the Gulf states rely heavily on it for their economy and energy needs. In fact, over 40% of U.S. crude oil production comes from this region. So, from an economic and strategic perspective, the U.S. has a significant stake there. However, the international community, including Mexico and Cuba, continues to recognize the body of water as the Gulf of Mexico. The International Hydrographic Organization and United Nations maintain this nomenclature in their official documents. Now the question is, why do politicians try to change the names of certain gulfs? Why not seas or oceans? Which name do you think is most suitable for each gulf? And why do you think there's such an effort to rename these bodies of water? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into ocean science and geopolitics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.